Hi guys, I'm Sinead, and today I'm going to be talking about the reading Population Control is Not the Answer to Our Climate Crisis by Yifat Seskind. This reading was very interesting to me as it discussed two things that I am interested in and passionate about, which is women's rights and climate change. So when I read this, I knew that I wanted to talk about it. So, my first quote that stood out to me was on page 291, and it says, after Hurricane Katrina, a Louisiana representative proposed paying people who receive state assistance $1,000 in exchange for being sterilized. He explained the benefits of reducing the number of poor people, citing the likelihood of more frequent hurricanes and the need to conserve resources. Um, Now this was honestly disturbing to me because it's just a very blatant example of white supremacy or like rich people supremacy and just like trying to like get rid of poor people, like encourage them from not having babies, which is honestly so weird. And I really wonder if this worked, like if people um took the money and like honestly it's kind of evil to take advantage of people who need money by like manipulating them into getting sterilized. And also the need, it's kind of ironic that he says the need to conserve resources, but I'll talk about that later. So my second quote is on page 292. But those seeking to instrumentalize these basic rights as climate solutions segue too seamlessly and singularly to the emissions cutting benefits of women bearing fewer children. Not just any women, but the same poor Black and brown women who have been blamed for having too many babies. Um, Now, this, I guess it sounds good in the name of climate solutions and like overpopulation to propose this, but it's actually just another form of eugenics and trying to get rid of poor children and like Black children and like keep the population of white people like in the majority, which like eugenics is a huge problem and like the sterilization of poor Black women, and it often is they're coerced into doing it often when they're incarcerated or as you heard in the Louisiana example, like they're literally paid to do it. And so I think this is just another form of manipulating women into not having babies. Um, and then my third quote is also on page 92, and it says, the planet cannot provide for 7 billion people exploiting resources at the rate of the richest, but it could support many more if the wealthiest used a fairer share and policies enabled poorer communities to end over reliance on fragile ecosystems. Now, this is where the earlier quote, where the need to conserve resources was cited as a reason for like sterilizing poor people, because clearly that's not the problem. And this problem is being the problem of corporations and rich people hoarding all the resources is being deflected onto women and like them having children. And honestly, like I think that's really messed up to take advantage of their bodily autonomy because corporations want to continue having all the resources, and that's clearly not the answer to the climate crisis. So that is very crazy to me. And so overall this reading just showed me how um those in like higher positions are trying to manipulate poor women and Black women into being sterilized and not having children and using the climate crisis as like the scapegoat or whatever. And so I agree that pollution control is not the answer to climate change, and women should have bodily autonomy, and corporations should stop pumping out gas and using all the resources. So that being said, I'll share my discussion questions. Okay, first discussion question. What is another example of eugenics in the government or just the social system in general? Second question, how does the targeting of poor Black women in population control relate to the issue of intersectionality? Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you have a good day. Yeah.